Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut. And this is another episode of the insane asylum known as WFAN.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha, they're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha, to the funny fun.
Now welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2, and hope you like this video. Hit that subscribe button. So as you know, this is a Mets-centric channel. I'm a big Mets fan. And your host has been at war with WFAN for over a year because they've been hammering the Mets for over a year. Belittling the players, belittling the front office, getting very mean. And I've been sort of going back and forth with them for the past year. Really since the trading deadline. But actually a little bit before that. Well, really after the trading deadline. Because then they started going after Pete Alonso, ownership, and everybody else. And again, they've been doing this mantra for many years, for 30 years. Whatever the Mets do is wrong. And when they do it right, it's still wrong. So, your host is a very fair person. I'll give people chances. I've been very fair to the Mets. Because I was very hard on them last year. Because they played so poorly, but they are now in the postseason. I said that let's give this team a chance. I said this, going into the last offseason, that the Mets had a very smart general manager now, and they got to give the new manager a chance. And they have renewed my faith in them by the way they've played so far, and we'll see how they play. Now, WFAN has been hammering them every single day. What's interesting about that is that some of the members, some of the the residents at WFAN, and it is an insane asylum, some of them work for SNY, in particular Spaz Licata, who does not give you the kind of venom and the fire that he gives the poor souls that listen to this program during the day. He attacks the Mets, attacks Pete Alonso. He does not like Pete Alonso for some bizarre reason. And I understand today they were attacking Met fans on Friday after he hit that big home run saying that it would be a bad idea to sign Pete. Well, you guys, the Spaz and the Coconut, which is Sal Licata and Brandon Tierney, his poor partner. I'm starting to really feel bad for the Coconut. That they have to work together. I would mention about the Coconut, he has ulterior motives. So if he's attacking Pete Alonso, he wants him to be on the Yankees next year. That's what he wants. Okay, he'll attack Pete, but then he secretly wants Pete on the Yankees. The Yankees don't have a first baseman. The Yankees haven't had a first baseman in many years, but they attacked the fans this morning on that monkey crap of a show that they have. I would mention your host has been going at them so hard, folks. So hard for the past year that they put all their programs and give you highlights in these little tiny little articles. And I was doing videos on him on this channel with the Baseball Hut too, and on the Baseball Hut as well. But they've changed their social media strategy to not only are they do more, they've taken all that off, and you got to go and listen to their program on the app. But they also do more live streams on their YouTube channel. Now I would mention, which I've not done this, and I was thinking about doing this today. All I have to do to read what they say is just go onto YouTube, because YouTube provides a transcript of the garbage they say on their programs. All of them. Just like if you're watching watching this show, watching any one of my videos, you'll see the transcriber have a very difficult time, pronouncing the way I'm saying, the way I say things. But I could do that if I wanted to. So even though they've been kind of wiggling around things, I could still do that at any time. Now, the one thing I know is that I would mention this. I was listening to the morning program, believe it or not, on Wednesday. Tuesday, going into work. Driving the Hutmobile, going into work, and listening to Norman and Gregory, which is Boomer and Gio, in the morning. I realized that what are the things they say during that particular show is basically stuff that I say. But what's different is that they'll make threatening comments about the people they talk about. They don't care what they say about whoever. And they feel they have a need to belittle and make fun of people. Now, your host makes fun of them, and I destroy them. And I change the things they say on their programs, how they act on their programs. During, I guess, in the springtime, I had goofed on Norman Esiason, also known as Boomer. Guy's 60-something years old. Now he's been calling himself Boomer. It's time to call yourself Norm. Hey, Norm! You know, I guess Norm and Geo doesn't sound so good. But I goofed on Norman saying that he's a bully, that nobody at the radio station makes fun of him. Now, I mentioned quite a few times that I'd watched Evan and Tiki, and just one day in the afternoon, Evan was making fun of Boomer, just like that. Now, the morning program is unhinged, and it's led by Greg Giannotti. You can't really challenge him. He threatens you. If you're a caller, he will threaten you. He'll threaten to beat you up. I don't think that guy's ever been in a fight in his life. You know, I haven't been in a fight in my life either. I am a lover, not a fighter. Believe me, there's a problem, I'm going to go in the other direction. But I can tell weakness when I see him. Now, here's the funny thing about this article we'll talk about here. This is from Awful Announcing. Today, they were making fun of the clowns at Barstool Sports. And they made fun of them, but it's kind of like that image of Spider-Man and the old Spider-Man cartoon. He's pointing at himself. Or it's like looking at a mirror. He reads the headline. Greg Giannotti roasts Barstool Sports Mets watch party. Looks like the bar in Star Wars. It's an interesting group. Boy, it is. I would say it is. But I would mention about these guys. At Barstool, they're paid to be there. Just like those at WFAN, they're doing like watch parties and put it on YouTube. They're all being paid by CBS Sports. Barstool's paying for these guys to watch these games, just like John Boy's paying for that particular channel as well. So all these guys, they're all corporate shills. They're basically, you know, this is like almost like that episode of Seinfeld too, you know, where it was Bizarro Jerry. You know, where they're just sort of standing and looking at each other. The New York Mets watch party hosted by Barstool Sports isn't for everybody. And it probably isn't for WFAN's Gregory Giannotti. As WFAN's morning show, Norman and Greg celebrate the Mets' advance to an NLDS on the heels of Pete Alonso's game-winning 3-run homer Thursday night. They reference the number of fans who filmed their own reactions to the moment. They went after your host, too. They say it, but they don't say it. Now, I'm going to point out something very important. I'm a big Mets fan. I acted very much in line with what a Mets fan is supposed to act. I would mention this about how they reacted. It was like they were getting their medication for the day, and there was always one person sitting there and wasn't reacting, and that was Frank Fleming. I would mention about Frank Fleming, by the way. He did a walk with Mike and the Mad Dogs, Mad Dog Russo, and they talked about eating gummies, which is a reference to doing marijuana. So it explains his behavior, by the way. I would also mention scientifically, marijuana increases especially in a man, increases your chances of getting schizophrenia. So if you want to know why he rolls around on the floor like a pig after a game, after a sporting event, you'll know why. And when update anchor Jerry Recco mentioned Barstool's Frank the Tank, Giannotti clarified that this reaction video came from being on a live stream. Here's the quote. They have the clip. I'm not going to play it. If you look at the Mets fans at Barstool that were watching that game together, I mean, looks like the bar at Star Wars. Giannotti said, garnering a fit of laughter from Recco and Boomer. I would mention Giannotti's only there to make Boomer laugh. Because eventually Greg will get himself into some kind of trouble and Boomer will bring in another, they're all disposable. Boomer's the guy that runs that show, and he runs the radio station. It's an interesting group, he said, unquote, and that's from Greg. Which is the one with the 3 boos, Recco asked. Now, there was no nudity in Star Wars, by the way. That was a total recall. Without hesitation, Giannotti answered Clem. It's a guy named Clem, actually. He's the big one. Clem Justin Clemenza Later posted a clip in categories Giannotti slides a shot directly at my or whatever. Clem, Rico Bosco, Chris Clemmer, Meek Phil, and Frank the Tank watched the Mets on a live stream Thursday night. Impressively, more than 60,000 views tuned in to watch this crowd. I mean, this electric. It's a collective group of Barstool personalities who watched the game, all paid for. I have a question. I have a very simple question at this point. How happy is Dave Portnoy that he did not buy the New York Mets with Alex Rodriguez and Jennifer Lopez? Because if you don't know, Jennifer Lopez and A-Rod were dating at the time. They weren't married. They broke up a little bit after they were going to buy the Mets. And just recently, things are getting very shaky there for Jennifer Lopez. Because her former boyfriend, P. Diddy's in a lot of trouble with the law. And they were together a long time. And quietly, people are very concerned that she might be going down. Not what you mean, but might be in trouble legally. And that may be why her marriage to Ben Affleck is in the toilet. So I wonder if Dave Portnoy dodged a bullet. Then they talk about the reference here, but it doesn't matter. But what's interesting is that if you look at some of the guys at WFAN, all the same. They're the same group. The only different, but what isn't different about them, there's nothing really different about them, now that I think about it. They're both paid by the corporation. They all are caricatures of Met fans or what you think are fans. Just regular people. You got one guy here holding what is he holding? A teddy bear? Holding a dinosaur? Grow up, man. What a wretched bunch of losers. So is the Barstool guys, but that's for another story. That's for another time. Well, hope you enjoyed this video. But again, I love making fun of WFAN, and Barstool Sports is just as just as delicious to goof on, and for someone like myself, it's a treasure trove, and we're going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it. And again, I would mention the WFAN. I really wanted to hit you over the last couple weeks, specifically the last day or so. All I got to do is read your transcript off of your videos that you've been posting on WFAN. I have to torture myself and have to listen to it and find this stuff, but it's out there, and I can do it. And I can ask some of my buddies online to do that too, and let me know exactly where some of this garbage is. You don't want to hang around the dumpster too long, then you start smelling and ugh. Anyway, this is another and a long line of reports from the insane asylum known as WFAN. Subscribe.
They're coming to take me away, ha ha. They're coming to take me away, ho ho, hee hee, ha ha. To the funny fun.